CNF Worldwide for nomads everywhere.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Rick Carter from CNF Worldwide, and we're here in Virginia Beach today with our good friends at Local Life Virginia Beach to talk to local restaurateur Tony DiSilvestro. How you doing today, Tony?
Oh, I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
So, Tony, you got Ynot Pizza. You've been in business for like 25 years?
25 years. Yeah.
Family-run business?
Oh, yeah. Wife and I started in 93.
Yeah, so you guys, we were just talking off the air. You're originally from New Jersey, so you brought some good pizza and pasta and Italian food down to Virginia Beach.
We showed them the real thing for sure.
So the Southern boys know how to eat in New Jersey and Philly and New York now. Huh?
They do. They seem to love it.
So take us all the way back to the beginning. How did you first come to be in Virginia Beach?
My brother moved down here first with a coffee business, and then my wife and I decided we were tired of living up by Manhattan and the hustle and bustle, and that was it. Came down 6 months later, and it's been great.
So how do you find the pace of life here in Tidewater, Virginia, compared to where you came from?
When I first moved here, it was very interesting. I walked into a video store and like 5 people said hello to me at once, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what do you want? Because up north, it's not that way. I mean, you kind of stick to yourself and...
Well, being from around Philadelphia, they go, what do you want?
Right?
Not,
No
hey,
doubt.
not, hey, what do you want?
No doubt. No doubt.
So were you already in the restaurant or the pizza business in New Jersey, or is that something you started when you got here?
Oh, I was in it from the time I was 15 years old as a kid, working on the Wildwood Boardwalk as a kid, and then working up in North Jersey right outside of Manhattan for 10 years before I came here.
Oh, so you were already well indoctrinated in the proper way to make a New
yeah.
Jersey pizza before you brought it down here.
There was no doubt.
So when you first came to Virginia Beach and you settled in and started, but here we're out off Great Neck Road. Is this your first location?
This was our first location in 93. It was only 2,500 square feet when we first opened. Now we're at 5,500. Just kept pushing walls around.
Yeah, so you built out dramatically, and,
Oh, yeah.
and you've got multiple locations now, I understand.
Right, we have 7.
Yeah, so what do you attribute your success to?
Probably consistency and understanding to surround yourself with greatness, really taking care of your employees. It really starts with them because I know that I cannot do it myself. Right. So I depend on a lot of people, 500 different employees every day.
500?
Yep,
That's
to make it happen. So
that's substantial.
So I really think that the businesses need to understand who they have working for them.
So when you originally came here and started this business, and a lot of our conversations and podcasts are targeted entrepreneurs, various different types of businesses, and we like to ask, how did you go about building the business plan, getting funding, getting the thing off the ground? Because a lot of people are out there who want to start businesses, they don't even know where to start. So how did you go about it?
It's very difficult. As I coach entrepreneurship a lot, and I tell them all, I said, I had to go out. I had no money. I had $20,000 in the stock market, and I went to go borrow money. So the banks kind of laughed at me, and then I went to mom and dad, and they kind of laughed at me, and it was finally a step-grandfather that lent me $60,000, and I took a chance and made it work. I was completely underfunded. So when I tell my story in entrepreneurial classes, I said I was underfunded when I went into business. I said, I don't want to discourage you, but, it is a risk. And the number one thing about being an entrepreneur is definitely being a risk taker.
See, and now my next question is, what do you find to be the biggest issue that people have when they try to start a business?
Completely being underfunded.
Yeah.
One of the main things I hear from new entrepreneurs is they can't afford to market. They can't afford marketing, and I tell them then you can't afford to be in business.
Exactly.
You have to get the word out, and without marketing, it's very difficult.
Well, that's you lead me right to another question. Now, we were just talking here before you came in on the air. Is you guys have been here for a long time now,
right?
And the media that's available and the technology that's available has changed dramatically in the 25 years you've been in business. So how did you get the word out in 1993 as opposed to how you do it today?
It's kind of interesting. We used a lot of direct mail when we first went out. The phone books were still there, which is a dinosaur today. So back then it was mostly print. It was all print. And, we went through a period 5 years ago where everything was turning digital. I mean, we were in this crazy digital phase. I spoke at conferences on being digital, and we moved 80% of our marketing to digital. And now currently today we're about 50-50. We moved back to print. Because I feel that people now are becoming desensitized to their PDF, to their phone. Right. So they just delete. So it's not as effective. So you kind of have to give them a little tease digitally and then have something in their hand.
Yeah, we've found that in places where I do business also that you kind of have to do a little bit of everything. A little bit of radio, a little bit of print, a lot of digital. What do you find is your most successful means of bringing people through Ynot's doors?
Definitely word of mouth is the most successful way, and then making sure that we feed them properly with high quality food. But as far as marketing goes, I wouldn't say there's one thing that really works. It's really focusing on your brand and branding. If you can have a brand promise and you put it everywhere, I think it really drives it home.
So you tell me, after all of these years and all this technological development, it's still about delivering a good product and getting good word of mouth.
Sure, it goes back to the basics.
So no matter what medium we're using, this will never change.
Right, and I really am a big component of understanding what your business is about. So the 3 pillars of our company are quality, family, and community, and we market everything to that. So we constantly have a consistent message out there.
See,
it's always quality, community, and family.
That was my next question. You find that the consistency of the message, because we were just talking at another appointment today, and the gentleman we were talking to just said something I totally agree with. People are overwhelmed now. There is so much information, so much marketing, so much branding coming at them from every direction. It's kind of hard to get your brand to stand out from everybody else.
Right.
And I mean, do you have any particular strategies for doing that,
Sure.
or just your 3 pillars?
No, we have really the why and why not. So we tell people why we do what we do. So whether we go out to our produce fields in Salinas Valley, whether we go to our dairy farms in Wisconsin, our meat packers in Chicago, we visit every one of our manufacturers, but then we come home and we tell them the why and why not. So whether we're telling them why we use what sauce, what cheese, or even that we make our homemade gelato, just really telling that story and telling the story to our employees as well, so they understand the why and why not.
You just mentioned your suppliers. We focus a lot, and we focus almost exclusively on locally owned businesses.
Right.
People like you who have built a nice foundation in the community. How do you guys? What all kinds of things do you do in the community to help build community that also, by way of doing it, helps brand Why Not?
Sure, there's no doubt. We sponsor 8,000 Little League players, 6,000 soccer players.
Wow.
I don't think there's a cancer out there that we don't fundraise for. We have 70 elementary schools that we're partnerships in, constantly raising money for them. We have our own Why Not Education Foundation, which is a 501c3. So we raise money for the grant program for the schools. So we do a ton of stuff like that.
I would say that's reaching out to the community.
For sure.
My follow-up question would be, when do you sleep, Tony?
Sleep is a waste of time for me. So
we are kindred spirits.
No, I mean, I run every second I'm awake, I'm running.
So we talked about your community. You mentioned a second ago that you go visit all of your suppliers. So we deal a lot with entities, businesses that do a lot locally, source things locally, that kind of stuff. Do you do that sort of thing here too?
Locally, it's kind of a marketing ploy, because even like if you're in Salinas, California, the largest agricultural spot in the world, they cannot do farm to table, which is kind of interesting, but it's a great marketing tool for people. But for us, I'd rather source the highest quality product. And if it's in California, if it's in India or Italy, we bring in some of our desserts from Milan, Italy. So I'm looking for the highest quality product and the best product I can buy. So that's what we do.
Of course, you had to go to Milan and sample these to make sure they were the highest quality.
Of course.
So you literally have traveled the world to bring the finest to Why Not Pizza in Virginia Beach.
We've been to Naples, and definitely.
Yeah, so you sample the Neapolitan pizza and stuff over there.
Of course.
I've got a friend in Key West you have to meet. He did the same thing. His restaurants.
Our family rewards program, if you have 50,000 points, we send you to Naples.
Wow.
And so it's kind of fun.
We need to order some more lunch, guys.
No doubt.
So let's talk family. This is very much a family business. You mentioned your wife, your brother's in the business.
Yeah, my brother, my 3 daughters. They'll all be waitressing tonight, my 3 daughters with me. And so it's kind of fun. My wife started out with me from day one. She had a full-time job. She came in at 4 o'clock every day and waitress every night. And we built a business, and then she finally came on full bore. And but she's the backbone of the backside of our business. She makes it happen every day. And but then my brother came into business 4 years after we were open, and it's been great. My brother, my wife, and I are owners in the franchise company. So we're getting ready to get outside the state.
I was just going to ask you, what's next for Why Not?
We are. We're looking to go to Richmond next year, and then Raleigh the year after that. So with a full franchise. We've been fully franchised for 8 years, but all company-owned stores. We own every one of them. But they'll be our first independent franchisees. So
right. And I also noticed you've got Why Not Ticks.
We do.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
Sponsorship. There used to be Cox Ticks, Cox Cable, and so they were trying to get us on board forever because it just made sense to say Why Not Ticks. And it's just been a great partnership with the university, Old Dominion University. So we sell pizza in every one of their arenas, so it's a vending play for us as well as a great branding piece.
So how did you make the connections or formulate the plan to move from one store here, not only just the other franchises, but to now your pizza's being sold at the local arenas?
Everywhere.
ODU? I mean, for the entrepreneurs out there, because a lot of people would think, oh, wow, that's where I want to be. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs are guilty of looking at the ultimate finish line.
Right.
They see the Emerald City off there and they want to leap right to it. What would you tell them about building to that level of
Sleep
success?
is a waste of time. I told you that.
So when you're awake and you're moving, how do you maximize your productivity in a very strategic and smart way while you're awake?
I think you have to be very detail oriented, stay true to your brand. And I think the more you focus on your brand and your brand promise, I think other people start to recognize that. And when you're a leader in the community and you give back to the community as much as we do and do things that are the right way, I think it makes a huge difference. Being from Jersey, I worked for so many people that were a little shady and did things the wrong way. When I moved to Virginia, I opened my business, I went straight up from day one. And, it really sets the tone for who you are in the community and how you run your business, how you run your family and your life. And it's really made a huge difference for me.
So you just said something. There's this big push now to get a lot of people who work from home, who are telecommuters and cyber employees, and there's a big move, especially in the millennial generation, to like a work-life balance to the point where it all just kind of meshes. And it seems to me like the DiSilvestro family is like way ahead of that curve. It's like family and community and the company all kind of meld together.
I mean, it really true. I mean, I have an amazing wife, and without her, I probably wouldn't be as successful as I am today because she gave me the ability to just blaze the trail and always had that back of the house holding me up strong. And then my children kind of grew up in that world and they're brainwashed, so it doesn't really matter. So but they just think this is a normal life. So it's kind of fun.
It's nice because it isn't just your business, this is your life. It's all together. So if you were going to give a piece of advice to any entrepreneur embarking on the foundation of any business, what would you tell them?
Stay focused on your business. I find so many entrepreneurs don't pay enough attention to the business side of their business, not understanding their P&Ls and how that, you may be a great baker, but you need to be a great business person first.
So where did you acquire those skills? I mean, from making pizzas on the boardwalk in Jersey, where did you really pick up the business side?
I went to Montclair University, went through economics, never graduated, but I ended up opening my business instead of
Apparently
finishing.
You took the important classes.
I did. I was an economics junkie. I was in his office every day after school. And the best thing is, I guess I just had a sense from a young kid. I started working in Wildwood. My first job was at 9 years old. I was a salesperson. My first job, I was selling Mexican pottery, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
But from a young age, I really understood the value of $1. So in Wildwood, it was like 4 months of hurry and 8 months of worry. So from a young age, our parents told us, like, you need to save your money. This is how it is. And when I went to Catholic high school, I paid for my own tuition and paid for my own clothes. So I really understood budgeting at an age when I was young, that really helped me through my entire life. And people always ask me, why are you so successful? And I really think it was my upbringing to understand what customer service meant. Realize that I'm in the people business. And a lot of people forget they're in the people business. After 25 years, every customer that walks through our front door, I think it's the first day I'm in business, and I appreciate every one of them.
How do you sustain that enthusiasm and that level of quality? Because many people aspire to it, but not many do it. I
don't know. I'm a rare bird. I don't know. I asked my mom last week if she dropped me on my head or something. So I don't know. I just I love people. I really, teaching entrepreneurship has really showed me a path in life that I understand why I'm in this business, because I'm driven to help people.
Well, let's talk about you teaching entrepreneurship for a minute. And this was not something I was planning to talk about. I find it's interesting. How do you find that the message is received, and are you teaching young people, or is this adult education? I mean, how do you feel that the message is received by these people?
It's kind of interesting. If I teach, I'll go in and teach a level 100 class, and then I'll go to 400, and it's so different. Yeah. I mean, the young kids they're just excited to see you in the class, but a level 400 class, they're asking you, what's it like being in business with your wife, and how much finance did you need, and where did you get that? What was the interest rate? So it really depends on what level you're teaching. Right. But I taught a class for an entire semester with 20 different people, and we developed business plans, and we went through I developed their entire business plan through the entire semester, and they're just so excited. I mean, very enthusiastic, and you leave the class as an entrepreneur for a long time, and it was the greatest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, because what we're seeing is, because we travel a lot, we go to a lot of different towns, and it's, especially with the millennial generation, it seems like they don't really want to come out and work for a big company and be another person in the cubicle. They're like, I don't do that. I'm gonna do it my way.
Right.
And they want to go out and they want to start their own business. They want to be the boss from the day they get out of college. So the only way to do that is to like start their own things. I'm seeing a ton of small businesses started by this generation.
No doubt.
And a lot of them, frankly, I think could use your entrepreneurship class.
They definitely
Because
could.
their enthusiasm is not matched by the skill level or the business insight
No
to really
doubt.
get it off the ground.
Yeah, the millennials are kind of fun for me. Most of the business owners that you see that are in their 40s and 50s don't like millennials. I love them because, like, when we teach the why, if you tell one millennial the why, they tell everyone because they're all used to getting trophies. So if you tell one of them and you convince them, then they're the best employees you can possibly have. But most people don't realize that, and they don't take the time to invest in the millennial generation. And I think they have a bad rap, to be perfectly honest with you. But my daughter's a millennial, and she owns her own business. I mean, and she's that very much that way. She wrote on her college essays, "I will not work for my parents. I will own my own business." And so,
And Dad said, "Great."
I did. She owns her own business, owns her own house. She's a junior in college. I mean, so
That's fantastic.
so
Yeah. So, wrapping this up, for all the people who visit Key West, I mean, all the locals absolutely know where you are and how to find you. But for people who are coming wandering through Virginia Beach for their vacation next year, or just on holiday or whatever, how can they find Why Not?
Oh, just all you have to do is type YNOT on your, and you'll find us. Trust me, and anybody. And the one thing, when you brand and you're focused on branding, everybody in the community knows who we are.
All right, Tony, it's been a real pleasure chatting
My
with you.
pleasure.
Look forward to seeing you again soon.
No doubt. Thank you.
CNF Worldwide for nomads everywhere.
This broadcast was produced by CNF Limited for nomads everywhere. The contents of this broadcast are the property of CNF Limited, copyright 2018. All rights are reserved. For more information about CNF publications, contact us at 305-707-4024. Find us on the web at cnfltd.com.